Have you ever felt like no matter how much you learn to heal or to try to be better, you keep repeating the same patterns? Like you know what you should be doing, but you just can't seem to make yourself do it. This isn't because you're lazy or broken. It's because your psychology is running the show. And until you understand it, you'll always feel like you're fighting yourself. After years of studying psychology and neuroscience and holistic healing, and living through my own anxiety and burnout and then rebuilding, I realized that there are 5 truths about your mind that every person needs to know if they truly want to go from having a dysregulated nervous system and feeling anxious to thriving. So let's walk through them together. Truth number 1, your mind isn't you, it's a storyteller. Your brain doesn't tell you the truth about what's happening. It gives you its best prediction based on what's already happened. It doesn't see the world as it is. It sees the world as it expects it to be. So that voice in your head that says you're behind or they don't like you or you're not enough, that's not reality. That's your brain telling you what it thinks is right to try and protect you based on pain you felt in the past. Your thoughts are best guesses, they're not facts. And the goal isn't to stop them, it's to notice them. It's to learn that difference between your intuition, which is quiet and grounded, and your fear, which is loud and urgent. This is what the meditation people are really doing. They're not turning off their thoughts, they're learning to be the observer of them, not the owner. The more you practice this, the freer you become. You realize that you don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. And that awareness alone will take more pressure off of your life than almost anything else. Truth number 2, your nervous system drives your life more than willpower. You can't think your way into being calm. Your body has to feel safe first. This is why so many people try things like breath work or grounding once or twice, and then they say, this doesn't work. Your nervous system, you need to look at it like it's a scared child or even a frightened animal. You can't expect it to trust you right away, especially if you've lived with stress or anxiety for years or you've been through some trauma. Your nervous system is in what I call that scared rabbit mode. And you have to treat it like you would a scared child, with patience, with gentleness, and with consistency. That means trying little things here and there to remind your body you're safe and I've got you. And at first, it's not going to look like anything is happening. But all of these tiny moments of calm start to add up. They begin to compound into little glimmers of trust here and there. And then over time, those glimmers turn into steadiness, peace, and eventually thriving. Taking your nervous system from a state of chaos to a state of calm confidence takes weeks, months, and even years. But it is the best thing that you could ever invest your time and effort into. Because once your body trusts you, everything else in life gets easier. Truth number 3, you recreate what you don't repair. This one is not fun, but it's very true. When we're unhealed, we don't pick what's best for us, we pick what's familiar. You've probably heard that saying that when we're unhealed, we tend to choose partners who remind us of the parent that we struggled with the most. This idea is the same with jobs, with friendships, and even opportunities in life. Your subconscious doesn't look for happiness. It looks for what it already knows. Even if it's painful, it will say, this feels familiar. We've survived this before. So let's go with the devil we know instead of the devil we don't, because that might be even worse. This isn't self-sabotage. This is survival. And it is impossible to shame your brain out of survival mode. That only makes it dig its heels in deeper. What breaks your body out of this is compassion. Compassion for the part of you that's scared to try something new. You can tell that part of you, I love you and I understand why you feel the way you do, and you get to come with me, but you don't get to drive the car. It doesn't even get to sit shotgun and read the map. It sits in the back. Because you, the adult that you are now, knows how to drive, and you have the GPS plugged in with your desired destination. Growth by nature feels uncomfortable, but teaching your body and your brain that discomfort doesn't equal danger, that is expansion. And you don't have to go to extremes to grow. In fact, it's the little things that build trust with yourself again. Things like speaking up in a meeting or setting a boundary with someone. Maybe it's lifting a little bit heavier in the gym or making the YouTube video that scares you. Every time you do something that stretches you, your nervous system learns, oh, I can handle this. That is how you grow confidence, not by erasing fear, but by increasing your capacity to feel it. Truth number 4, emotions are data, not direction. Emotions are signals, not commands. They don't tell you what's true, but they do tell you what's important to you. For instance, anxiety is saying something feels unsafe. Anger tells you a boundary has been crossed here. And even guilt says that you really care about this. You can use your emotions as information without letting them run your life. And when your emotions arise, your job isn't to suppress them or spiral out in them. Your job is to let them move through you. I remember when my panic attacks used to completely overwhelm me. That wave of emotion that they brought was so scary. I would do anything to push it down and not feel it. But when I finally learned to let it run its course, that's when everything changed for me. So the first time I learned to do this, I was in a very safe space. It was actually in my therapist's office, and she walked me through the process of doing it. The next time I felt anxiety, I really wanted to push it down because I was actually in the middle of a meeting at work. If you have anxiety, I know you can relate to this. Mine starts with a tight feeling in my chest, and I could feel it starting. And I thought, okay, I can try and push this down. I can white knuckle my way through. But I knew that if I did that, I would spend the rest of the meeting being really distracted and just trying to calm myself down. So what I did was I quietly excused myself and I walked into the bathroom, locked myself in a stall. Like my therapist had showed me, I let myself feel it. It felt like my chest was going to burst open, but instead of panicking or judging myself, I named the emotion, which was I'm scared, I'm afraid. I was terrified at the time. And I kept breathing through it and feeling into that pressure in my chest. I kept repeating that until I felt the pressure in my chest actually move up into my throat. And then I could feel my lips go numb. And I kept breathing through it. And finally, it passed. I was sure that I had been in there for an hour, but when I looked at my phone, it had only been 2 minutes. It felt like forever. Then afterward, I stopped and I kind of reflected on what had triggered it. And I knew that someone in the meeting had used a very passive aggressive tone. So I took some time and I said to myself, I'm not there anymore. I am safe now. And this whole process took me probably about 5 minutes. And then I went back to my meeting and I sat down feeling clear and grounded and focused on what was in front of me. That wasn't even the best part. The best part about this whole process was that the next time this happened, I was much stronger. And now, when someone is passive aggressive towards me, it barely registers on my scale at all. That is how you build resilience, not by avoiding your emotions or pushing them down, but by learning to feel them safely. That is how you expand your window of tolerance. And it's how you use hard things to strengthen you, not break you. When you stop being afraid to feel things, nothing outside of yourself can control you anymore. This brings us to truth number 5. Meaning and action are your greatest tools for growth. So you are not your thoughts, but your actions shape your identity more than your feelings ever will. Thinking about being fit doesn't make you a bodybuilder. Living like one does. Waiting to feel motivated is a trap, and it's one that many anxious people who are all or nothing thinkers and type B perfectionists fall into. The thing is, motivation comes after action, not before it. When you take small, consistent steps towards what matters to you, even on the days you don't feel like it, that's how you rewire your brain and rebuild your confidence. Action shapes emotion more than emotion shapes action. So start small. Do the tiniest thing in the direction you want to go, and then do it again tomorrow. You'll start to actually crave it because your brain learns through repetition what's safe and rewarding. But this goes for anything positive or negative. The more junk food you eat, the more you crave junk food. The more you come home and veg out on the couch, the more you'll crave coming home and watching TV. But the more you go to the gym, the more you'll crave going to the gym. I know you think this process sounds like it's too long and will be too slow for you to stick with, but I promise you it happens so much faster than you think it will. Underestimating micro habits and small steps is the biggest mistake that most people make when they're trying to heal their nervous systems and change their lives. We do this because we think if we know better, we'll do better. But if you struggle with anxiety, this isn't true. Because even if you know better, you'll always default to what feels safe, which is what you're already doing. The answer to this isn't extreme changes that just throws your nervous system into the deep end and forces it to sink or swim. It's to let it just dip its toe in at first. That is the path to consistency when you have a dysregulated nervous system. And when you align your daily actions with your values, you don't just change your habits, you change who you are. Not to become someone completely different, but to come home to the person you were always meant to be. So, to recap, here are the 5 truths. 1, your mind isn't you, it's a storyteller. Number 2, your nervous system needs compassion, not pressure. Number 3, you recreate what you don't repair. Number 4, your emotions are data, not directions. And number 5, meaning built through action is what makes life worth living. You don't need to become someone new to thrive. You just need to understand yourself deeply enough to finally come home. If this resonated with you, make sure you subscribe. And if you're ready to start embodying these truths on your own, check out my free 7-day anxiety reset guide below. It's the perfect place to begin.